Welcome back to DC Wrap. I'm Pat Pobletti with WisPolitics.com, and joining me this week is U.S. Representative Ron Kind. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me this morning.
Well, my pleasure, Platt. Glad to do it.
So to start, the USMCA is set to replace NAFTA and go into effect on Wednesday. Now, we've spoken in the past a couple times about your involvement in the negotiations with the administrations on the trade package. What exactly are you expecting the impact on Wisconsin's agriculture industry to be?
Well, I anticipate it's going to be positive. But first of all, Pat, Mexico and Canada are our two largest trading partners. There are two border nations. We have to have a good working relationship with them, including on the trade front. We made substantial progress with many agricultural issues with Canada in particular, dairy, poultry, eggs, soft lumber, including improvements with the sanitary and phytosanitary standards that was being used by Canada to block our agriculture exports in there. All of that now is contained in the agreement, fully enforceable. And in a lot of ways, the hard work is just starting. Today is day one on the implementation of USMCA, the new trade agreement. Now we need to monitor it. We need to oversee it, make sure that all the parties are living up to the terms of the agreement. And our family farmers need help wherever they can find it. One way to help them is by expanding export opportunities so they get a better price in the marketplace. And I think USMCA is going to help in that regard.
So to shift gears slightly here, the Senate, in a somewhat surprising move on Tuesday evening, passed legislation that would give the Small Business Administration the authority to continue providing Paycheck Protection Program loans, just as it was set to close down with roughly $130 billion left unspent. Now, do you expect the House is going to follow suit and send that legislation to the president's desk?
Yeah, we're planning on moving on that later today, as a matter of fact, and it's the right thing to do. There was $130 billion still sitting in the Paycheck Protection account. We need to maintain that flexibility in case there's increased demand. We're not done with this virus, or as I should say, the virus is not done with us. And so the economic recovery is going to be pretty choppy for some time. And all this is about buying time, Pat, until we can get to a vaccine, inoculate people, and keep them safe from the virus. But in the meantime, we're starting to see flare-ups, even in Wisconsin, in certain areas, certainly in certain areas that I represent specifically. So we need to maintain these programs and the help and the flexibility that comes with them, especially support for small businesses. And I also incidentally worked really hard to make sure that all our family farmers qualified for all the small business relief programs. Initially, the administration wasn't doing that. We had to get clarification on the guidance and the rules to make sure that family farmers qualified for P3 and also the EIDL loans too. And we got that accomplished, but let's continue what we're doing right now because clearly we're not out of the woods yet.
So to jump around one last time, the news cycle in Washington has been dominated over the last couple of days by the news that the Russian state may have paid bounties to the Taliban for killing U.S. and coalition troops in Afghanistan. Now, some of your colleagues in the House received a briefing on this issue from the White House yesterday. What are you hearing from them about it?
Well, first of all, every member of Congress deserves a briefing, classified or otherwise. Just sending a few bodies down to the White House to be briefed by political appointees at the White House doesn't cut it. We need briefing at the highest level of our intelligence agencies, from the professionals themselves. In fact, yesterday I sent a letter to the administration demanding just that. And this is bipartisan, or as I should say, nonpartisan. The protection of our troops in the field is something that every commander-in-chief has the highest responsibility to do. So if these allegations and these reports are true, this president has a lot to answer to, because he needs, as far as his overall responsibility, first, keep the American people safe from harm, and also have the backs of our troops when they are deployed, especially in hostile situations like Afghanistan and like Iraq. Somehow, some way, someone needs to communicate to President Trump that Russia is not our friend. They cannot be trusted. And they are undermining us every opportunity that they get. And this latest report about bounties on our troops should make every American very angry if it's true. But at the very least, we should get a full congressional briefing of what is going on. And more importantly, what is the president going to do now that it's made public? So far, he hasn't indicated that he's going to change course at all or take any potential action against Russia. And that too should be very disturbing to every American.
Now, to close out here, Congressman, I wanted to open the floor to you, give you some time to talk about anything that we may have not yet touched on. So, floor is all yours.
Well, this has been a very busy week. On Monday, the House of Representatives did pass legislation to improve the Affordable Care Act, to expand health care coverage to 8 million more Americans, including 500,000 in Wisconsin alone, bring prices down, make prescription drugs more affordable, and also offering Wisconsin to expand our Badger Care program by taking the federal assistance, 3 free years. Oklahoma, of all states, yesterday passed a public referendum to expand their Medicaid program under this offer. If Oklahoma can be doing it, we in Wisconsin should be, to take care of our most vulnerable citizens. And now today, we're going to be passing a major infrastructure investment bill. It's time to start rebuilding Wisconsin and rebuilding America again with sound infrastructure groundwork that can sustain a growing, vibrant economic recovery that we need. And there's a lot of good things in that, including broadband expansion, high-speed internet connection. If anything has shown the need to close the digital divide in this global pandemic, and that's what we're taking action on right now with the infrastructure bill. Significant funding in order to close those gaps that exist and the education and the economic inequities that come from that digital divide. So we're hoping to be able to get this done in a bipartisan fashion. It's the only way you can get things done these days. And I'm proud on that front that the National Chamber of Commerce gave me their first award, Jefferson Hamilton Award, for my bipartisanship. I was second in the House of Representatives, second out of 435, with the ability to work across the aisle, find common ground, get things done, including with my Republican colleagues. I think we need more of that in public service these days, and I'm proud that the National Chamber recognized the work that I'm doing on that front.
Congressman Ron Kind, thank you so much for taking the time to join me.
Thanks, Pat. Stay well.
You as well.